asked this before, so I wanted to go ahead and just create a quick video for it. It's regarding inside Infusionsoft. I suppose this would be relevant to Keap Pro now as well, since they have the automation or the campaign builder inside Keap Pro. So this is basically for Keap Pro and for Infusionsoft by Keap. So the question comes up as I have a form inside Infusionsoft. I'm sending data. So if you take a look at this form, it's almost like a two-step form. So form one, we're getting some information from the contact. On the thank you page, we're going to send them to a redirect link, so a web address outside of Infusionsoft, and we're going to pass the contact's information to the thank you page. So what we do here is then we have a second form inside Infusionsoft that we want to be pre-filled with the information that gets passed over. So if I look at this form, it's basically the same inputs, but there's some additional information. So we can make these hidden forms or values if we wanted to on the other page, but you want to keep them like this inside Infusionsoft. I'll explain that in a second. So then that's basically a thank you page, because once they submit this, it's good to go. So imagine it like this. We have this page or this form, which is powered somewhere. If it's on a website, cool. But it's basically the form, the first form. Form 1, step 1. So they fill out this information and then they land on this page, and what we want to happen is whatever they filled out on this form, we want the second form to populate with the information that gets sent in the URL string. Here's how I do it. If I have Elementor, I will always use the Pro version, and I will use a form that looks something like this, and then I will use the the queries inside that form. Go over here. I will go to advanced. I will select request perimeter. I will use get, and I'll use the field value that's inside the URL string, and I will put that as the ID. I don't really need to, but I'll grab that value and input it that way. If I'm using Elementor Pro, I could do that. If I'm using the second version of the form right here inside Infusionsoft, then I have to go into this form, I have to grab the code, so the HTML code, styled, whatever, and put that inside WordPress directly, and then I have to do a little bit of Ninja stuff, which is really Ninja, but as soon as somebody sees code, they freak out and they're like, oh, you're Ninja, and I'm like, no, it's just code. Don't freak out, people, it's fine. So basically what you'd be doing is you'd be setting the value from one of the values inside the input with the name of whatever comes through in the URL. So for example, I have this one here, which is value equals PHP echo get, and it's an infusion INF field email. And it has all little code snippets. So all I have to do is come over to my pasted form, find the email input area, go over here. I know I should make this bigger. Go over here and then paste value equals echo blah 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 blah. And I'll put this snippet down in the comments or the information below. If I'm on YouTube, if I'm somewhere else, just here's a second to copy it. Type it out, people. I'm just kidding. Alright, so there's that. So basically, once somebody lands on this page, the information from the URL will go into this field and you'll be good and dandy. So let's test this out and see what this looks like. So I know this field value here is Infusionsoft field email or INF field email. So this should work. So we're going to test it. And it's on this page. So let's watch the data pass over. So I'm just going to do Steph at stephboreldesign.com and submit. And then we're going over to the form test, and you can see right there it did pass over. It's Steph at stephboreldesign.com. And then you look over here, and then you can just basically copy and paste at this point whatever other field values are. So here's that INF field email. Now if I want the first name, I can go ahead and copy this, go back into my Elementor form, and copy this whole deal right here, set the value inside this input, but then replace this with what that said inside the URL string, and update, and then when it goes through again, it'll pass the first name and the email, and then they'd have to continue filling out that information. Now, I can change this to hidden. I can change this type to hidden, and it will still pass that information. So this second form doesn't have to what's it called? It doesn't have to be displayed because they're just passing that information, but that's totally up to you if you want that information to be shown. So if I were to refresh this with that same thing, you can see that now the first name comes in here, the email's in here, and the birthday's in here. So if I had that birthday information, it would come through the contact as well, but that's not what I'm getting. I'm getting what they fill out in the form in the first place. So I hope that helps a little bit. Just remember that biggest thing is on the first form, you want to make sure that in the thank you page, you're going to a new page and you're making sure to pass that contact's information. And then you want to make sure inside an HTML form, you're using this little snippet for the value, which is a PHP call, to get that URL parameter from, or get that parameter from the URL and place it into that field. And if you're using Elementor, super easy. You just click on the name, or whatever field you want to do, go to Advanced tab, click on the little tool icon, use Get, and then if this is out, you see you're basically just clicking on dynamic tags. Scrolling down, go to Request Parameter, click on the little tool, keep it at Get, and then you're typing in whatever it is. So it's INF field email. And that's all there is to it. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions, because I like answering questions. It's fun for me, because I'm a nerd. Woot woot.